Manus, anything in this statement then that seems to be a surprise? We talked about the pensions obligations when we spoke to you at the top of the hour, and the number coming in then at $2.2 billion for PSA buying GM's European unit.
Absolutely. I think the key point in here is going to be for the GM shareholders, because we're being told that the money that they receive, they're going to use that for additional share purchases. GM plans to use the proceeds to accelerate share purchases. The other dynamic is that the financing arm, if you go into a showroom like this and you want to buy a Peugeot or you want to buy a Vauxhall or an Opel, you use a financing arm. And what we've got here is PSA and BNP each are to buy 50% of the Opel financing unit. They agree that financing partnership. This is critically important for the ongoing part of the business. Now, when it comes to synergies, and this is where the critical part of the deal is for Tavares, it's about scale, it's about access to technology. In terms of synergies, we're looking at 1.7 billion euros. That is by 2026. I'm not going to make the subjective call on that. The kind of numbers that were floating around out there in the ether and were around 2 billion euros. Of course, I would need to sort of double-check the time span on that 2 billion euros worth of synergies. This is about, I suppose, a conference of thought between the unions, politics in the United Kingdom, looking after the Vauxhall brand and the Vauxhall interests through until 2021. Those agreements run through until then. The German side of the business and the French, of course. The union response thus far has been about re-grasping the roots of these European brands. So the top lines, Anna, again to recap, $2.3 billion deal. PSA buys GM's Opel brands. Synergies, 1.7 billion euros by 2026. Now, when it comes to recurring operating margins, this just gives you a sense of how really tight it is to make money in the car market, which of course has seen a resurgence in terms of the number of sales. Can that last as we go to share riding? You know, who said that the millennials weren't going to change the shape of the auto industry? But when it comes to margin, Opel's recurring margin of 2% by 2020. But get this, the margin target is 6% by 2026. It's nice to be inside lovely cars, Anna.